Lewis Hamilton hasn't won a single race this year, and he's still the most iconic F1 driver of all time. Although he did win a sprint race in China, if you want to get technical. When Ferrari announced they'd sign him, their stock price literally jumped before he even got inside the car. This is part one of how Lewis Hamilton became a global cultural icon on and off the track. Most people outside the world of F1 probably don't know that he's a 7-time world champion. He holds the record for the most podium finishes in F1 history and shares the most world titles with Michael Schumacher, who many consider to be the best F1 driver of all time. He's also the only driver of black heritage in F1 history. F1 is an elitist sport, with most drivers coming from wealthy, white, and well-connected families. Whereas Lewis Hamilton disrupted all these norms and earned his place purely on raw talent. His father had to take on extra jobs to get him started, and he faced racism from a very young age.
In the past years, I've had racist names being called to me.
But despite these challenges, he'd already started winning championships. By 22, he made his F1 debut with McLaren. Okay, so let's talk about the wins. His first podium came in his debut race at the Australian Grand Prix. 5 races later, he claimed his first win in Canada, beating his teammate Fernando Alonso, which was the reigning world champion at the time.
Well, he's rewriting the book of what is possible in Formula One.
The following year, Hamilton won his first world championship, becoming the youngest F1 driver of all time, until Verstappen beat his record 2 years later. But that achievement cannot be understated, because McLaren hadn't won a driver's title since 1999 at that point. Hamilton constantly overcame hurdles like heavy rainfall during his 2008 Silverstone race, where other drivers couldn't stay on the track. Despite not having the fastest car on the grid, his performance throughout the years was really impressive, enough to catch Mercedes' attention and lead to a $100 million deal that took him to the team in 2013. This Reddit thread pretty much sums up a lot of F1 fans' thoughts at the time, calling it a bad move, only for people to return to the same thread later and realize that it hadn't aged well. That move marked the beginning of a career-defining era at Mercedes. He went on to match Michael Schumacher's record, as I mentioned earlier, becoming the driving force behind the success of the team, all while dealing with racism and constant negative press coverage. He was knighted for his work in diversity and inclusion and his excellence in motorsport. To have achieved all of this, making history in one of the world's most exclusive sports, is objectively extraordinary, and it's only part of the reason of what makes Lewis Hamilton a cultural icon. It's also his work off the track, like his impact in fashion, which makes him one of the most talked about athletes in the world.